Yo guys, welcome to another video on overlanding journeys. And in this video I will talk about and show you about my craziest wild camp experience during my road trip in Swiss. To be honest, I didn't really wild camp that much as I was planned to, because every time we had to wild camp we had to drive like for 45 minutes up a mountain, and for me it was just not worth the effort and the fuel to get up the mountain and get down. And my nights were also not that good when I drove up a high mountain, so I preferred to just stay in the valley on the camping and just have a shower and have a bit of luxury. But nevertheless, I don't know if this is the word I should use, but it was like I did it a few times, and those times were really fun, and it was like it was a experience. It was a good experience. So in this video I will talk about the last time I did wild camping. I was with my friend, and we were just driving up a mountain, and he found a spot that was like on 3,000 meters high. And we started driving up and it started raining, so it started to be a bit like I don't know the word I can use for it, but it didn't really feel like safe for me. And we were driving up the mountain, and it started raining like really hard, and my friend had a Volkswagen Polo, so he didn't have a car which was like made to drive up a high mountain like this. And eventually we were at like 2,000 meters, and his car was starting to slip, and it was just he could not continue with his car because it was just the terrain was like too rough. And so we decided to park the car there, also my car, the Jeep. And I said to him like, I'm okay, I can also camp here, because why would I drive like 1,000 meters more up while here is also a nice spot. And he was like, okay, you can do it, but I want to go like up to the top. So I was like, okay, then you go up to the top, I walk with you there. So we had to walk for like I don't know for how long, but I started walking with him while it was raining. And at some point I was like, okay, I walked enough, I'm done. I go back down and I will just sleep here. But while we were walking up, we saw like there was still going like a path for like the car up the mountain. So I told him like, maybe I come up with my car and I just try to get up. But it was not like a normal road. It was like really rocky and stuff. And I think driving off-road is fun, but it's also like scary, because I think like if something breaks down and I'm just there on top of a mountain, 3,000 meters, like who's gonna help me there when something breaks down on my car? So I was like, this is quite a big risk. But while I was walking down, I was like, just try it and just do it. So I came at my car and I was like, okay, let's go. So I drove like the mountain pass. I drove up, and after like
driving
10 minutes,
off-road pass,
I saw my friend walking there with all stuff, and it just rained. We reached the top of the mountain, and we set up our camp, and it was very rainy, and we were in like clouds, so it was like it was a cool experience, but it was also like tough. And then we were like we were having a lot of fun, but then we were going to bed, and it was like the temperature started to drop like really fast because we were so high. So at some point it was just like 0 degrees, and during the day most of the time it was just between 20 and 30 degrees, so it was just, we had really nice weather. So it was like fucking cold, and I to be honest, I barely slept that night, and my friend neither. He in his tent, like on the ground. Like I had the advantage that I was on top of my car, so I was less cold than him, but still I was cold. So I was like, I was waking up like every 2 hours, and yeah, so it was a very tough night. And then the next day I woke up and I was like, it was already like my 15th day of the road trip, and I was a bit done with the wild camping and stuff. So I remember I felt like I just wanted to go home because I was cold. I literally wanted to just step in my car and drive home because I was so done with this. So, but then I started making breakfast, and yeah, after the breakfast it was like I started to feel a bit better, and I think it was mainly because of the lack of sleep. Because also when you sleep on like higher altitudes, I feel like my breathing is different than it's normally, and than it usually is. So I have to breathe like more times, and this is also a reason why I wake up, I think, because my rhythm is just disturbed. So yeah, we were waking up, and like the first hour in the morning we barely talked, and we were like both like, oh fuck, I don't how are we gonna make it through this day. But like eventually after our breakfast we packed our stuff, and we were like, okay, let's go on a hike, let's like explore this place. And yeah, I show you a lot of clips during this video, but it was like a bit of a moon landscape. Yeah, so at some point we saw like a hut, and we went to that hut because we were just curious. And like suddenly there was a guy behind the hut, and we hadn't seen like people for like the last 24 hours. So we were like, hey, hello, we were talking to him, and his name was Mike, and we were like, what are you doing here? he was like a cowboy. So we were talking to him, and he was telling us stuff about what he does here, and yeah, it was just a really nice conversation. And then we were also seeing like cows, and we were asking him like, are they yours? And he was like, no, they're not mine, but I'm like, he was taking care of them. And it was literally his job. He was just sitting on a bench, like just sitting, and he was watching the whole day to those cows. And yeah, we were just talking about him, and he got like really excited about like how the cows they used to fight each other, because it were like all female cows, and there was not a pool, so all the females, they will fight each other because they will fight for dominance. I think this was his story. And we were like, can we go up to them? And he was like, yeah, sure, you can go up to them. I was then like, yeah, they're really nice and sweet, but they were literally looking like bulls, because they were so big and they had like horns. And yeah, so we were going up to them, and I'm not gonna lie, I was scared as fuck, because I don't fuck with this kind of animals, because they are so big, and I feel like they're like 700 kilograms, so if they want, they can just walk over me. So I was scared, but my friend is like a really big animal lover, and he was like, okay, let's go. And he brought food. I was like, hell no, I'm not gonna feed them. But eventually we came closer, and the cowboy told us like, yeah, they're really sweet, but they didn't look sweet. So we were coming closer, and we were both getting nervous. We were like, fuck, they look a bit terrifying. But we trusted Mike, so we went up to there and we were petting them, and eventually nothing went wrong. But after like 2-3 minutes of petting, maybe longer, but I was like, okay, I want to go, enough of this shit. Because I'm always thinking like, what if this cow has like a switch off in his brain, and he goes like just into he just sees me as a threat or something. So I was then after 5 minutes I was like, okay, let's go. And we were leaving, but yeah, then we came back to the car, and we were it was time to go down. And we drove down the mountain pass, and yeah, we made some nice drone shots. And yeah, this whole day was my craziest wild camp experience. I will not say this was the most beautiful wild camp experience, because that's another one, but this was like just crazy in the sense of like there was so much happening, and it was like we had like really high peaks but also really high low lows, and this was really what made this wild camping experience like crazy for me. Yeah, that was it. I hope you enjoyed the story, and see you in another video. Ciao!